What's up, people? It's another edition of the New Breed Podcast, the world's best new metal and new metal adjacent podcast from two dudes who are really there. I'm one half of your hosting, Joe J. Horsecott. With me, I have my partner in crime, the notorious TIM, Tim Minister Jr. Tim, how goes it?
Great. I mean, the headaches are just wonderful.
It is a par for the course at this season. We have hit the April showers sector, which kind of sucks because we're both hacking and wheezing. So for our audience, Tim and I are both in the Northeast, and if we start hacking, coughing, wheezing, and you see we take weird pauses, it's because neither one of us can breathe.
Yeah.
Speaking of not being able to breathe, what are we doing this week? Well, this week it has nothing to do with breathing, but it definitely has to do with walking and not being able to walk well. And with that, we are going to talk about the history, the culture surrounding, and the revival of the influence and inspiration for the logo sitting behind me, JNCO Jeans. So JNCO, which stands for Judge None, Choose One, was founded in 1985, and the brand itself evolved from a niche, family-oriented manufacturing firm in LA to a global cultural phenomenon. At one point in the 90s, JNCOs defined the visual identity of our entire subculture, of new metal, of everything that was left of center and not mainstream. It Django basically created an entire culture. They synthesized rave culture. They synthesized new metal, L.A. street art. There was a lot of graffiti influence and a lot of other stuff. It put all this stuff in a blender, and it really just created something really unique. And if I'm going to be quite honest, really kind of wonderful. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Riva brothers. I hope I said that correctly. If not, guys, please reach out. We'll have you on the show. The Riva brothers, and it was called a Revatex. Their model for delivering jeans at scale, how they pivoted from urban to suburban markets, and right now, I think we could, Tim, if we're being honest, we might as well just call this is what we consider post irony, right? This is a post irony icon for the Zoomers and the Alphas, and really, really kind of cool. So before we get in, Tim, did you or do you own a pair?
I did, and I don't right now. After I figured out how ridiculous them things look, I was like, yeah, now we're getting rid of
Do you
that.
remember how big they were? How big the opening was? Were they like one of the
Dude,
obscene ones, or
dude, they are ridiculous at all sizes, honestly. It's like you get home, you get home, the bottom of them are brown and
and
ripped and
soaked?
disgusting. And yeah, oh, God, dude.
I remember early 2000s, my buddy, at this point we hadn't gotten to the skinny jeans bullshit, and a buddy of mine wore a pair of his big jeans. I think they were Jenkos, to the Preakness race in Baltimore, and it rained that day. So trudging through the infield, his PK moment, his pants were soaked to the knees. And I
Oh,
watched this dude sit there with a hair dryer and dry these things out because he wanted to wear them out later. And they were like, it added 10 pounds to his outfit.
dude, I remember putting a 40 in the pocket, like
Jesus.
to get through someone's house, or like, back then you're like sneaking beers in the house. It's like, oh, I'll just put a 40 in my pocket and walk up the steps. It's
40 of what kind of 40 was it? Was it Mad Dog or was it Steel Reserve?
probably Old E or Mickey's or
Ugh,
something.
OE. Oh God, I'm getting odds just thinking about that. Okay, so their model, they had a unique manufacturing model called the Revitex model, and this prioritized speed, agility, adaptivity over the idea of cost savings and creating these jeans offshore. Uh, but before we get to the model, the genesis of Jenkos, uh, two immigrant entrepreneurs from France. So these guys were born in Morocco and they emigrated to France. Haim Milo Reva and Jacques Yakov Reva. I think it's Reva. I think it's Reva.
Yeah, Riva
And
works for me.
they moved from Morocco to France to LA, California. And
Oh,
their
that's not a
father,
surprise.
yeah, right. Well, what a surprise they ended up in California. Their father was a denim sales rep, so he
Oh,
understood jeans,
did
right?
he
He
help?
understood jeans. It doesn't appear that he did. But obviously, I would be surprised if they didn't go call up Dad and pick his brain for hints and ideas and
Yeah.
whatnot. So
You
in
know what? He
1980,
probably said, "What the fuck are you talking
yeah, what are you
about?"
guys idiots? You doing pants that we can put on upside down? Whatever. Uh, Believe it or not, the brand starts in 1985. 85. The brothers used $200,000 in their personal savings, and they established a private label manufacturing firm called Revitex. So this was a localized, vertically integrated supply chain, which means they went soup to nuts along the whole value stream, all internally. And again, this is where other retailers in the 80s and even the 90s, they were looking at 6 month lead times to get product onto the shelves because it was all being built overseas, assembled, stitched, sewn overseas, then shipped. These guys had a 200,000 square foot facility in LA
Wait, how
and
big?
200,000.
What?
It's huge. 200,000 square feet is huge. It's kind of like that warehouse that idiot just torched all the toilet paper in it. They're going to
I
lock that
didn't hear
schmuck
about
up and
that.
throw away the key. It was called SMJ American Manufacturing Company. And uh, they had a turnaround time, not 6 to 8 months, but 6 to 8 weeks. So they were able to spool up and spin up if a particular brand, if a particular cut, a particular version of the jean was selling well, they could spin it up and print more and create manufacture more of those. And if there was another pair of jeans that wasn't selling well, they could spool that down and not make as
Mhm.
many. So they if you think about Tim, think about Sheen, right? Think about Sheen. Shein for those that are phonetically challenged. And you think about all that fashion stuff that exists today. This was a precursor to that because they were literally spinning up as fast as they could and churning this shit out way, way faster than their competitors.
And then in turn that dominates the selling margins, right?
Yep, yep, because they're moving faster, they're moving quicker. They can seize on a trend, exploit it, and then move on to the next one. While everybody else is still waiting for their genes to be put together in I don't know Indonesia.
You know what that brings up to me. Remember the I don't know. Well, that'll be out before this. It kind of reminds me of Hot Topic where they kind of did the same thing. Like they figured out what
Yep.
was selling and then just blasted that real quick.
To the point where Tim, why don't these other companies have the same logic?
You you know what I think about that right now though? You know what makes me think of that? When I order from somewhere and it takes 2 weeks to get here, but then you order on Amazon, it's there in 2 hours. And it's like, yeah, I get they have a ton more drivers and a ton more like they're bigger, but some of these companies could do themselves good if their fucking turnaround shipping times were way faster.
Yes, and I I understand that Amazon heavily invested in their logistics platforms.
Yeah.
Heavily, heavily, heavily. I get it. What these other companies don't realize is we have an attention deficit disorder amongst most of the population now because of
One
Twitter and
thousand
because of
percent.
Instagram and TikTok. You want me to wait how long for the shit I ordered?
Yeah. Like
No.
if per example, I just ordered 3 pairs of shorts from Dixon. It took a week to get here. Okay. Whatever. They're a
Not
smaller
bad.
company.
Not bad.
Not bad. But if you would have knocked that out in 3 days, 2 days, how much more satisfied as a
Well,
consumer?
that was the point I'm trying to make. The point I was going to make was Amazon has now set the bar
Yeah.
where if you can't get me my shit in 72 hours, I'm kind of aggravated.
Yeah.
You know, like
Exactly.
I'm literally kind of aggravated. And we could do an entire episode on the ripoff that is Amazon same day because these jabronis can't get it right. For me, they can't get it right. I'll
Yeah.
add extra bullshit to get free same day, and then it either comes the next day or I had one just they emailed me the next morning and said, yeah, it's not coming today, it's canceled. We'll refund you.
Oh yeah, dude. I ordered something today, and it's supposed to come 10 to 3 tomorrow. If it comes at 3:01, I'm pissed off.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and well, we'll talk about AI later. How it's reading my inbox and telling me I'm supposed to get shit today that hasn't even left the shipping place. And now I'm aggravated. So the interesting thing I also picked up in when I was doing this research, JNCO's first partner, retail partner that was helping them sell their stuff, Tim, was Merry Go Round. Do you remember that store?
No, but it's
It.
familiar.
My wife shopped there. That was her trendy clothes bullshit shopping. Whereas you and I were hot topic guys merry-go-round. Old people, am I right?
It's like Forever 21.
It's old people. So interesting thing I learned when I was doing this research, where that silhouette, that giant wide leg, came from. And apparently, the one founder, Milo, who I'm just going to call him by his first name going forward, Milo was trolling around, walking through, exploring the Latino communities of East LA.
Oh, I
And
do
in
know this. I do know
This
this.
is really cool.
Yeah.
And in East LA, he saw these dudes that had uh they were low waisted and they were really wide at the ankle. So like dropped, sagged, and then wide legs, which if you think about what was big at the time, it was 501s, which are straight cuts, right? They're not, and actually there's a little bit of taper in a pair of Levi's 501. What these guys said was shit. There's a market opportunity there where I can capitalize on this and it be an alternative to the 501 straight pipe or tapered jeans. And
So he basically went through the Latino community and
yes,
stole
yes,
what
he
they were using.
he culturally appropriated East LA fashion. If we're going to use today's parlance, I can't believe I just said that. Hold on, I got to take a sip of beer as penance.
Was it smart though? Probably.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we're not going to get into that conversation because I've been drinking and I'm going to get canceled somewhere. So they need to build the brand. So what do? They find a graffiti artist. They find this guy by the name of Joseph Montalvo. That was his real name. His tag was Nuke, and he belonged to the Society's Daredevils crew, along with the UTI crew, using the imagination. Great double entendre there. And him using this graffiti logo, this graffiti influence, it added legitimacy, right? It gave street cred, for lack of a better term. It gives the brand street cred. And he designed the JNCO crown, right? Which nods to our logo there, and the graffiti inspired back pocket embroidery, which the as the 90s went on, it got more and more cartoonish. But that was really cool, and it was what made the JNCOs different. And for those of us that were old enough to shop when these things were actually on racks, you could very quickly move through pairs by looking at the logo on the corner on the bottom, back in the right pocket. Because that would tell you, oh, different silhouette, different shape. Really cool. So they're leading with an 8 week turnaround time, stealing from East LA, basically Cholo. They were stealing from that visual identity. They had a graffiti artist provide the street cred and the logo. And again, their name stands for Judge None and Choose One, which really resonated with, again, the counterculture set that was uh, very highly individualistic, prided themselves on being nonconformist. This really
Being different.
resonates.
Yeah.
Yeah, resonates with them.
Being an individual.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in 94, Merry-Go-Round goes bankrupt. Merry-Go-Round's their primary retail partner. Like I just said, they go bankrupt. And what did the Revs do? They recruit this guy by the name of Steven Sternberg. And I'm old enough to remember this. He turned around the brand Bum Equipment.
I remember that.
He made that. It was in every mall and every store, everywhere you went. And with that talent in mind, he goes in and he retools what we know as JNCOs, and he moves it from a urban line to a suburban monster. So you're no longer marketing to just the urban folks in that background. You're now marketing to the kids in the mall, going into Spencer's, going into Hot Topic, finding new things to wear.
Wasn't what was else big back then? You had Quicksilver. Was it
Mm-hmm.
Quicksilver,
Uh,
Billabong?
Billabong. Those were basically mall brands if you think about it. And it was
Yeah.
suburban malls that helped make those things get huge. Pacific Sunwear.
There
All
you
right,
go.
Pacific Sunwear. Anything you
Zoomies.
saw in that store was they were going for a suburban market.
God
Jenk,
damn, dude.
yeah, I know, right? Jenko at this point, they basically are targeting mall rats. They're targeting mall rats. And their sales go from 36 million to 189.9 million in 1998.
Holy shit.
And for a bunch of kids that were looking to be different, right? Be individualistic. What else could make you more individualistic than a pair of crime scene JNCOs with 50-inch leg openings? Tim,
You,
I am a fat guy. I'm a fat guy, and I wear a 42-inch waist.
I'm a 40.
You and I could have each gotten in one of the legs of those pants. It would have been like one of those fucked up sack races or a three-legged race. We could have run it in a pair of JNCOs upside down.
Yeah, pretty
That is
much.
insane.
How much of that jump in sales was profit though?
I don't. It doesn't say.
Because I'd be the one right now asking myself, did these dudes get super rich off this brand, or was it just they put that money into more volume and then they fucking fell
I
and
I
lost?
I'm gonna speculate that I don't think they got super rich, but I do think they made some money off it. But I don't think they got super rich because again, they relaunch and the story. We're gonna go through the story again. They pivot, then they relaunch, then it doesn't work. They get reacquired, so the story gets interesting. Let's put it this way: the far as we go on, I don't think they got like they're not sitting around in the Tommy Hilfiger mansion, but they probably did fairly well for themselves. I think that's probably a realistic
I
statement.
I I would consider Tommy a mall brand as well.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I remember that was one of those brands that came out of nowhere. And all of a sudden it was the thing that everybody wore. Well, you know what? If I could find a way, maybe we'll do a deep dive on that urban fashion that ran parallel to this at the time. So this is your brands like Aniche and Mecca
Echo,
and Echo Unlimited. Well, we should do a
yeah.
whole episode on Echo. Echo would be a really cool story. Um, but that was stuff you saw in the new metal world. I
World
mean, I remember.
Industries.
Do you remember the shop on South Street, Agent Orange?
Oh yeah,
They
definitely.
sold basically new metal. It was all new metal clothes. I still got my visor, my black visor that I wore. I got from there, along with a long sleeve Echo T-shirt that I finally threw out after having it for 27 years.
It lasted that long.
Yeah, it didn't fit anymore, and it was as thin as a tissue. But yeah, yeah. I mean, Echo was awesome. Like just the Rhino logo, very simple but very cool. Their shit showed up in everywhere. Once it shows up in like Macy's, you're like, all right, it's on its
Yeah,
way
yeah.
out.
Once you walk into what's that other store, me, and then what's Boscov's, you know you're
Boscov's, right? If it's in Boscov's, it's kind of
yeah,
it's
it's shit. It's made in China. It's shit
yep,
now.
it's kind of had its day.
You know what that
Airwalks
happened
showing up in
to?
Payless, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what that happened to and extremely pissed me off is Champion because Champion used to have the best sweatpants of all time. And then they
yep,
turned up in Boscov's and Macy's and they're completely shit now.
yeah. It's funny how the direct to consumer internet market allows us to just pick this is my favorite. So my most of my t-shirts are fresh clean threads because they fit right and they're not expensive and there's no logos and stuff. My flannels are Dixon, right? Dude, you know how hard it was for me to find? I was looking for some shorts that weren't camo. All I own is camo shorts.
Dixon.
Uh, by the way, anybody goes on the Instagram page X Camo Shorts X, it's some guy that only takes pictures of dudes in camo shorts at like concerts and festivals. He did a whole series of FYA where me and two of the guys I went with are all standing next to each other in camo shorts, and somebody commented and said, "That's the Unk line," and I was dying.
Is it a picture of you?
Oh, it's a picture of the three of us from behind.
Oh, you
Yes.
got to show me that. That's
I will
fucking
find it and send it to
hilarious.
you. So one of the other things that increases JNCO's popularity, and this is not something they did purposefully, it's something that just happened. Schools started banning them.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Schools
yeah,
started banning them for safety concerns because the students could trip or they could hide weapons.
yeah.
Like, don't be a menace to South Central. Like, guy pulls out his JNCO and there's like a cruise missile strapped to his leg, right? Like, what are we talking about here? So that's free PR and free marketing, right? Because now if you're telling young individualistic adults that they can't have something or they can't do something, well, of course they're going to go do it even more because
Yeah.
why not? And then you're getting 65 inches, 69-inch leg openings.
Dude, that's
So
ridiculous.
the brands and the fans double down. They lean into it and say, "All right, well, you don't like that now. We're going even further into it." And this timing, I actually think, Tim, they were also a lucky recipient of timing, right? Being in the right place at the right time. So in the '90s, they hit a flywheel, which is the marketing concept of a self-sustaining process that just keeps refilling itself. And Jenko is showing up all over the mall. It's showing up on MTV. Everybody's wearing Jenkos on MTV.
Even had
New
celebrities wearing it.
New Metal. Everybody in New Metal is wearing big pants, big jeans. It's not a big deal. Gadzooks, Hot Topic. Gadzooks was probably even more than Hot Topic influential because they never leaned into the music. They just did alternative fashion, and they did Jenkos, chain wallets, all that sort of stuff. I
Dude,
mean,
who didn't have a fucking chain wallet back then?
uh, now you got me thinking. I won one at the shore, wasted. Homecoming weekend, my senior year. And that was my wallet in college for like a year, two, maybe. Problem with the chain
Shit.
wallet is you sit on it and whatever your cards are in, they get destroyed because the snaps mangle them.
I had a chain wallet up until like 2 years ago. Until I started using an Apple wallet that goes to my phone.
Right? Why even carry it? Yeah. Then you don't even need it anymore. I My mom got so mad at because I actually I used a hole punch. I cut a hole in my school ID, my license, and my ATM card. And I have them all hanging on a lanyard with just my key. That's all I needed. Yeah, I got a lot of shit for that. Okay, so back past our 69-inch leg openings. We have Gadzooks, we have Hot Topic. They're selling this shit like hotcakes. It's blowing up. Everybody's involved. The mall kids are like, hey, man, this is really cool. We got to get into it. And then Hot Topic also picked it up, but they leaned more towards the goth, the punk, the heavy metal kids. Uh, you have people who are socializing in the mall. That's where they go to meet up and talk to each other and whatnot. But Hot Topic was kind of like the kind of sketchy looking cousin that got you into the really weird shit that your parents will let you hang out with because they thought you'd be outside smoking pot.
And we were.
Yeah, quite true, quite true. The So this ties back to that episode we did on Hot Topic. There was a woman by the name of Cindy Levitt. She was the manager for Hot Topic. She was utilizing their fast hot turnarounds with Hot Topics. You know, they can get. We talked about this in the Hot Topic episode. They could get something into the store in 6 weeks. So they were. She was watching this happen and seeing what you see at raves and what you see at skate parks, and she's like, "Shit, we got to get in on this." So they turned into the retailer for the quote unquote cool kids. Man, that is something wild to think about.
Yeah, dude, it's I sit here and think about this now, and it's like, what were we thinking wearing that shit?
'90s was the best time to be alive. I'm sorry. The '90s were the best decade in the world, and everything's gone downhill since.
Yep,
Uh,
100% agree.
Now we're going to talk about why this is relevant to our conversation besides the logo. Uh, New Metal, JNCOs, Ozfest. All three of them inextricably linked. The New Metal took heavy metal, it took hip hop, it took industrial, put it on a blender. It had a very unique sound, I think we can agree, and it pushed boundaries. And with that unique sound came a unique aesthetic, and part of that aesthetic was big clothes, right? Big jeans, baggy, over the top. Adidas. We talked about that when we did the Hot Topic episode. Korn, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot. They are the torch runners of this. They are the forebearers leading the way. And Ozfest is literally was just a distillation of everybody with the JNCO look. Everybody had corduroy shorts on, right? I remember everybody wearing corduroy shorts, the
Oh
real
God,
fat
yeah.
cords with the wide legs and the ball chain and the t-shirt and spiky hair and chunky skateboarding sneakers.
God,
Uh,
corduroys. You wear that shit in July and you're dead.
what was well, I was younger. What was I thinking? But I remember wearing that to the Ozfest at Giant Stadium, where somebody called me a less than charitable word because I sat outside during Pantera because my ears were bleeding. You weren't even born yet. I don't want to hear about it, asshole. Uh, while Korn is known for Adidas, this brand still gets lumped in with them because it is a new metal aesthetic. Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit was always showing up on TRL. Whatever he wore, that's what
It's
people were
huge.
doing,
Yeah.
right? He wore big pants, he wore skate shoes, t-shirts, and the red Yankees have. Somebody asked him. I saw an interview the other day where somebody stopped him on the street and asked him if he has the original red Yankees hat and that he used to wear. And he said, absolutely, I still got it. He's like, it doesn't fit though. He said, it shrunk. And then he said it smells like a gym locker.
Ugh.
So you can only imagine.
Now
Uh,
your head got bigger, buddy.
well, your head gets bigger over time. I have my original New York Yankees fitted hat, which I can barely get over like the crown. So it's kind of like a yarmulke. Somebody else who we don't talk about much, the lead singer from Papa Roach, Jacoby Shaddix. He was always on TRL, right? Especially when Last Resort popped, he was representing the new metal aesthetic. So these two guys end up forming the uniform for I guess you can call it Disaffected Youth. I guess it was a very unique cycle where the retailer were selling things that you saw on the media, and you bought from the retailer what you saw on the media to wear to the festival that represented your subculture, which got its stuff from the retailer. Who it's you could see how this human centipede kept feeding itself, right? But then 99 happens. So in 1999, their sales go in half. It was 187 million in 1998. It was a little less than 100 million in 99. Why? Why? Well, back to what Tim just said.
Overexposure.
Yep. JNCOs, they weren't just in Hot Topic and Gadzooks. They were in JC Penney's. They were in
Oh yeah.
Kohl's.
Yep. Yeah. You know what? You're 100% right. They were. I
When your
remember that.
shit shows up in Kohl's,
And it's super overpriced.
sorry, that
Yeah.
you've officially jumped the shark.
That's like
The
the say that's the term selling out, if you ask me.
Yes, yes. Cindy Levitt, same woman who was the buyer for Hot Topic, she said she observed that it became a little uncool to wear JNCOs, and the tipping point was when it was available at too many doors in the mall.
Yeah.
And you're right, quote unquote, selling out. It went from an anti-establishment vision to a mass market commodity. And once you
Yeah.
commoditize this stuff, your early adopters feel alienated because they're like, this isn't for me.
It
I mean, if
turned
we really
to
want to get into, go on.
it turned to Lorna Shore real quick.
Mm. By the way, I collect Mosh shorts, the champion mesh shorts, with all different logos and stuff on them. I probably have over a dozen pairs, maybe a dozen and a half. The only pair that I've worn that the printing has come off so terrible you can't even tell what it was,
Lorna Shore?
Lorna Shore.
Hmm.
What? What? And I actually think it's probably closer to 2 dozen pairs. They're my workout shorts because when the pile builds up, you throw it in the washer on hot with 2 cups of Nature's Miracle and a cup of OxyClean, and they don't smell bad at all.
I gotta get me some Moss shorts for the
I
gym.
Dude, I have so many. This morning's pair that I wore when I was working out was Roseblood, and I love
Nice.
obscure bands that do them. I have the ugliest pair from 156 Silence. I'll never give up. I'll never give up.
Gotta get a pair of Doodleax.
Make diarrhea on it. I should see if they make them. A couple places only make booty shorts, so I'm not wearing those. So uh JNCO becomes overexposed, they sell out, right? And nobody wants it anymore. But then we have the early 2000s where the denim industry moves
Ugh.
towards indie rock and towards emo skinny jeans. So this
Ugh.
is the Strokes and Jet and the White Stripes and all that just uh,
You go from one end to the other, and the other is terrible.
uh, I don't wear I don't want to wear nut huggers. Don't. I don't.
No, I don't. No, I want to know
Nope.
parts of it.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. So in 2000, this is the low point for JNCO, right? Their sales have hit their lowest point. The Reva Brothers, they actually shut down their facility in LA. They laid off all their staff, is over 100 people. And for the next 15 years, the brand basically goes into dormancy. It's on the fringes. The rave scene was still kind of messing with it. Skateboarders still kind of messed with it. The only people who were really wearing it was collectors and or nostalgia fans.
Yeah. That's the kind of shit you would see on like eBay
Yeah,
and it'd be
for a
like 300
ridiculous amount of money.
bucks. Yeah.
Dude, I have a pair of OG kickwears upstairs from 96.
They still
And
fit?
dude, they're like a size 36 waist. You
Oh,
kidding
yeah,
me?
yeah, 96, duh.
But I could probably turn around and flip them and get a ridiculous amount of money for them. Anyway,
Depop it.
in 2015, Jenko says, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna try. It's time. Let's bring it back." So they create a licensing deal with this Chinese investment firm called Gotai Lydian, the Litian Group, and this revival showed how misunderstood this brand's legacy was between them and the Chinese investment firm. So the relaunch in 2015 was skinny jeans and joggers.
God.
Why? Why would you do that?
Wait, Jenko made skinny jeans?
Yes.
Right, hold on a second.
You can image search it. Now I want to image search it. Jamie, pull that up. JNCO skinny jeans.
I'm looking it up as well. Oh, they have Shockaware that are huge. Kickwear.
Kickwear is what I've got.
I don't see any Jinko skinny jeans though. Oh yeah, here we go.
Skinny
Depop.
leg denim. Here's a pair on eBay,
100
32 by
bucks.
38 for $68.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, here is a pair of 2001 Alien Workshop jeans, 33/28. 33 by 28 is the size, and the one leg has been chopped, and they're selling for $215.
Damn.
Jeez, man,
You
I'm
can get
looking
it.
at
You can
this
get them
now.
on TikTok shop. TikTok shop. Sorry.
Vintage wide leg whites. Jeez. This is kind of nuts, dude.
Oh my God, these are hideous looking.
Yeah, this is terrible podcasting, by the way. But man, some of these are really ugly.
Yeah,
Jenko
some of these are
battles.
terrible. Jinko Rhino jeans. Oh
Here's a pair of Jenko skinnies for 45. Um Drawers. God, do you remember that?
these
All
are
right,
horrific,
I
dude.
just want to look up and see what is the Jenko battles. 32/30 with a 30-inch leg opening. That is quite completely nuts. Okay, back to the task at hand here, people. So they relaunch in 2015. They do normie core stuff. It's all straight legs. It's skinny jeans, joggers. It's terrible. Uh, an executive from the investment firm said that eventually you can only make pants so wide, and that was their argument as to why this relaunch failed. But if you think about it, that wasn't the reason why it failed. It failed because they abandoned the original identity of the brand, which was
Yeah.
super wide leg, really cool, different shit. So this lasted for 3 years, Tim. Starts in 2015. 2018, the license was terminated, and Genco announces a total liquidation. Total liquidation. So all their remaining inventory is gone, and they basically stop in 2018.
So what happens to all that shit?
They sell it off in bulk, and somebody buys it, and it ends up in like discount stores or whatever, or
It ends up in like Five Below.
yes,
You
yeah,
walk in, you get your
free pair of
knickknacks and a pair of
Jenkos,
Jinkos. Yeah.
yeah, 40-inch twin cannon opening. That stuff gets bought up and either resold or it's scrapped or it's upcycled. I mean, whatever. The
Can they recycle that shit? Can you
I don't know.
recycle a
Can you
pair of
recycle
jeans?
denim? I'm sure you can. You figure a seamstress, you could just you cut it all, you cut it, you get enough raw denim, and you can put it together and make a different pair of pants, right? Like theoretically, you could buy a pair of jeans that would fit me with a 40-inch leg opening, take them to a tailor, and they could turn it into a pair of normal size jeans.
More than likely. Let's see. I'm gonna Google it.
So things get good, right? The worm turns, and life starts to get better in 2019. The original founder, Milo, he reacquires the brand and the trademarks. And at this point, he says, okay, we're returning to our roots. So him and his daughter, Camilla, they they tried to go between the nostalgia for the 90s with the demands for what the modern audience is going to want.
Okay,
When they
hold on. Here you go. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay,
You can recycle denim, but they turn it into building insulation, pet bed inserts, and thermal packaging.
imagine me buying a bed for one of my cats and it's got a JNCO J in the bottom. It'd be kind of cool,
Yeah,
actually.
it'd be hilarious.
When this thing relaunches, Tim, and this is kind of why the relaunch didn't go as well as I think they would hope, per my speculation. In 2019, they relaunched with 8 styles. The prices was anywhere from 225 to 350 a pair.
So it was just small batch.
Yes, and it was positioned as these are collector's pieces. Own a pair of history. However, the Revas then turned around and they lowered prices by $100 a pair, and they said their argument was we're committed to making the brand accessible. We don't want it to be just weirdo influencers, but at the same time we have a expectation of quality with our denim that we need to meet. They partnered with this digital marketing firm named Logical Position, and they created a direct to consumer model where you were Google shopping and email automation allowed them to reach a whole new audience. If we compare 22, 23, and 24, in January of 22, they had 102,000 website visits, 700 total purchases with 111,000 in revenue. In January 23, 178,000 visits, 1,273 sales, 221K in revenue. In 24, 398,000 visits, 2,974 sales with 483,000 in revenue. So over 3 years, they increased their website visits by 290%, their purchases by over 300%, and their revenue by over 330%. That is really, really cool. I was one of the ones that bought something in 21 or 22, not gonna lie. I bought a pair on sale, but I have a pair upstairs. They were $100, and they're the smallest leg opening I can find, so I can actually wear them. These things weigh 40 pounds, and it's a 21-inch leg opening.
And you still wear them?
I wore them to the you can't see it because it's blurred, the Fred Durst Halloween party on the at the Mushaloo.
Okay.
Yeah, they're comfortable. They're just really heavy. It's got to be cold outside, and
Was
you
he
can't even
there?
work. Oh yeah, he DJ'd the thing.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
right.
emceed it. I went by myself because everybody else is busy, and it was a gorgeous night. You're outside on top of the Mashulu in Philly, and it was packed, dude. Everybody had red Yankee hats on. I got there. I think it started at like 8 or something. I got there, had a bunch of beers. I just chatted with a bunch of people, and I left at like 10 because I didn't want to get hammered and then have to find a way home. Fred Durst came out at 11 and he emceed and he was behind the DJ booth and he was out in the crowd talking to everybody. And I think it closed up shop at like 2 in the morning. It's
That's
really
you didn't
kind of
even get to
cool.
see him.
Yeah, I couldn't stick around that long, man. And I think the wife was away, so it's not even like I could get drunk and crash at the hotel across the street. Like I had to get home.
Got to get him to the dogs.
Yep, got to get home with the dogs. And in 2026, Genko has moved from this nostalgia brand to they're back in the dialogue of contemporary street fashion. And a
Well,
lot of this
let's
has to
let's
do
start that off with our friends in Orthodox because aren't they?
they're sponsored.
They're sponsored,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's not uncool anymore. It's actually cool now. Now, granted, a lot of a lot of the normies from the Zoomers, uh, they think of this as irony, like, oh, I'm being so transgressive. I'm wearing something that's not cool, so it is cool. But they're legit comfortable shit. They're legit comfortable stuff. TikTok. TikTok has been the biggest accelerator for the brand's growth. There were tons of videos that went viral featuring people wearing the twin cannons or the kangaroos, which are 50-inch wide leg openings. And funnily enough, they often are paired with Aphex Twin t-shirts. Interesting. And this has actually influenced high-end fashion. So Rick Owens, Balenciaga, they have the voluminous big pants, large fitting trousers, if we're going to be technical. Uh they have adopted these big pants. So now we've shifted what's acceptable into the, you know what? Big jeans aren't the worst thing in the world. It's not terrible. And that actually allows, when you start seeing on a Balenciaga model, by the way, have you ever seen the Harry Potter Balenciaga AI?
No.
We're gonna have to find it during the break. Okay. What this has done though is it shifted the Overton window and allowed people to say, hey, you know what? I like big opening pants, and it's cool, and you're cool, and we're cool, and whatever. Justin Bieber spotted with a pair of JNCO shorts in 2023 in a show. Again, now we're normalizing this to a larger audience. It's this is people who don't want to wear skinny jeans. This is your other option. I did I tell you I went to I stopped by an old a Gap. It was a Gap. It's either Gap or Old Navy. Same difference. With the wife. And they had 90s loose fit jeans was the actual name of the jean.
I bought a couple pairs of them from Levi's last year in the at the outlet by your house.
90s loose fit. It's
Yeah,
like
they're
I saw
called
this like
569. Yeah,
JNCOs. I swear, I'm sorry. Wildly aside, the best jean company out there is Lucky Jeans. The
they
best
used to
jean
be.
company.
They used to be.
I still swear by mine. I still swear by mine. A little bit stretchy. They don't have the rhinestones full of really weird shit on them. I'll take it.
Yeah, I will agree. They used to be. I used to wear them primarily when I was wearing jeans still, but now they switched up and they don't fit as good anymore.
They had changed all their model numbers and they're cut a little bit differently, so you gotta try everything on. I did pick up one pair, and I'm like, this doesn't fit like it used to, but another pair did. Uh, in my research, I come across Orthodox. 2024, they announced their sponsorship, JNCO of Orthodox, and Big Pants Music is what Orthodox had T-shirts said, which is kind of cool, kind of funny. It's the interesting take here, and we've had Adam on to talk about this, is we're now seeing bands that embrace nu metal not out of irony, but because they truly do love it and they enjoy it. And that was the thing that they find they really are interested in it, which is really kind of cool. It's taking the whole thing full circle.
Yeah.
And Camilla, the daughter who is now the president of JNCO, she said in an interview I saw her, the brand's mission in 2026 is to become a global powerhouse, collaborating with both artists and cultural icons while remaining tied to its artistic roots. That's really cool.
We're here. You
Yeah.
can sponsor.
Hey, we will take sponsorship. Hey, if you're listening, we're not complaining. Uh that's really really interesting. They're in 2020, now we're in 2026. You have all these pop-ups that have showed up in Brooklyn, right? You have all these pop-ups that Haywire does, the band, shows under the bridge. Everybody's wearing big jeans. It's back to the 90s. And the funny thing is you have kids there wearing big jeans with their parents who wore big jeans in the 90s.
Yeah.
So the world has literally come full circle. And JNCO's thing is, again, big silhouettes, big openings, good denim, heavyweight. That's what you're into. This is the way you go. And the fan base now is like the old school fans are now telling the younger fans, hey, look, this is good shit. Like, don't think this is just a cash grab. Their quality is it's the same as what it used to be. And shout out to Camilla. I mean, she has utilized so much creativity and really has repositioned JNCO as basically it's a cultural movement now. Back to nu metal, right? Nu metal was more of a culture. It started out as a musical genre and became a cultural movement. They're doing the same thing. They have their website is pretty good. They're always having new stuff. They're always having sales. That now it, it's interesting that 50-inch leg opening used to be absurd. Now it's kind of back to what it was originally, which was a symbol of me being different and doing what I want to do, which is really, really interesting. And I think, in closing, uh, I hope to see JNCO around in the next decade. I do think there is an opportunity for them to not do skinny jeans, but maybe a quasi. Can I get like a can I get like a 12-inch leg opening? Maybe an 18, something that looks a little bit more acceptable to wear to work. But I think that they're still around. They weathered the storm. They went dormant and came back with a vengeance. They're doing things in the culture. They're sponsoring bands. They're sponsoring shows. They're doing all sorts of things. I think that this is going to help them stick around. And the band, it went from a cool thing to a punchline to now it's a really cool thing. And I hope it stays that way.
Yeah, I agree, and I love that they're doing the sponsorship stuff because you picked a good band with Orthodox. They're out on the road constantly.
Yep.
Their band's wearing the stuff on stage. I mean, come on, dude. That was the whole point of that's back then. That was big for like guitar brands back then. All right, Stephen Carpenter is loves to use EMG or use shit like that. Where he plays it on stage, people buy the shit out of it, so it works.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It is dude, this kind of amusing. We didn't even talk about VOD was sponsored by JNCOs.
Were they really?
Yes. Yes, Mike Kennedy in an interview talked about it. And I don't know if it was them. I think it was Incubus. Pantera took them out, went out and bought them a bunch of jeans. In the sense, Dimebag was making fun of them for wearing these giant pants. Went out
Oh
and,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
Incubus
yeah.
guys came back to their bus and it was full of pairs of 501s that he went out and bought all of them because he was sick of them seeing him in these big pants. Dude, that's great. That's what great, great stories are made of. So everybody, as I finish the yawn and get back to the beer, go go buy a pair. Don't buy a pair used that's like 300 something bucks. Go OG pair. You know what? If you can't afford an OG pair, because they are expensive, $100 a pair of jeans is a lot. Today's economy, buy a t-shirt. Buy a t-shirt, buy a hat, rep the brand. You know, show off that you like this stuff because it really is an interesting cultural marker. And at the minimum, it'll get people talking. At the
Definitely.
minimum, it'll get people
And
talking.
then tell Jinko to sponsor us.
Yes, and while you're buying it, say please sponsor the New Breed Podcast. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, watching, listening. If you're on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. Just leave a comment, please. We're really, really into it. New episodes every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Reaction vids on Fridays sometimes. Maybe, maybe not. Shorts, summary vids, Mondays and Tuesdays. Check them out. Find us New Breed _ podcast, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. New Breed Podcast at gmail.com, 267-297-4627. Find us on r/Numetal. Find us on our Facebook page. See you next week. Thanks again for tuning in. Cheers.